Welcome to Middle School Math Course 1, Unit 7, Area, Perimeter, and Volume. Topic 1, Perimeter and Circumference will be discussed in this topic. Perimeter is the total distance around the outside of a shape. Perimeter is used to find the distance around an object. It helps us in real life when we build fences, frame pictures, put borders around things, and measure the edges of objects. This is how you find the perimeter of this rectangle. Find the length of each side. Add all of the sides together, and then calculate the total amount. Now, we will have our perimeter. It is 26 centimeters. This is how you find the perimeter of this object. This object shows us many different sides, many different lengths, and that is okay. Find the length of each side, add all the sides together, calculate the total, and this is how you find the perimeter, which in this case, it's 36 centimeters. Now, we will look at a circle. Circles have a circumference. It is not called a perimeter. This is how you find the circumference. So it's a circle. A circle does not have straight sides. No perimeter is found by adding the straight sides of a circle. We use the circumference, which is the distance around the circle. A circle has no straight sides, so we cannot add sides to find a perimeter. Perimeter versus circumference. All circles have a perimeter, but we give that perimeter a special name. It's called circumference. Other closed shapes use the word perimeter, but not circle. So these are some other curved shapes that use perimeter, because perimeter is the distance around any closed shape, except for a circle. Oval, semicircle, heart, crescent, rounded rectangle, and teardrops. These are some of the shapes that we can find the perimeter, that are curved shapes. Circles are special. We use the word circumference instead of saying perimeter. Circumference is the distance around a circle. So only circles use circumference. All other shapes use perimeter. Circumference. Again, circumference is the distance around a circle. And this is how we find it. First, we must find the diameter. D stands for diameter. The diameter is across the middle, from one side to another. Next, we must use the formula C equals pi times D. That is, circumference equals pi times diameter. So, in other words, we must find pi times diameter. So, after that, finally, we will solve to find the circumference. So the answer is the distance around the circle. Here is a circumference problem. A basketball has a diameter of 24 centimeters. What is the circumference of the basketball? These are the steps. Find the diameter. Thankfully, we are given the diameter of 24 centimeters. Next, we use this formula. We're going to use the formula pi times diameter. Substitute the diameter into the formula. That means pi times 24 equals C. Let's solve it. Pi always means 3.14. So every time you see this little house-looking thing, call it pi. And understand that it represents 3.14. So circumference equals 3.14 times 24 in this case. So the answer of the circumference is 75.36 centimeters. That is the circumference of the basketball. Radius explained. A basketball has a diameter of 24 centimeters. What is the radius of the basketball? The radius is the distance from the center of a circle to any point on the edge. So as you can see from the picture, the diameter is 24 centimeters wide from one end to another. Therefore, the radius will always be half of the diameter. So if you have the radius, but you don't have the diameter, you will always understand that because the radius is half, the diameter is going to be 2 times that amount. So if the radius was 6, the diameter would have been 12. If the radius was 2, the diameter would be 4. If the radius was 50, the diameter would be 100. So find the diameter of this basketball. Diameter equals 24 centimeters because that is what it says. Use the formula R equals D divided into 2. Radius equals diameter divided into 2. Let's substitute the numbers into the formula. Radius equals 24 because 24 is the diameter divided into 2, which is half of the diameter, which gives us 12 centimeters. So the radius of this basketball is 12 centimeters. Excellent job. Great job. You have done a magnificent work today. Continue to grow.